Welcome to the Tush Twins, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com, which is a streaming platform heard around the world and beyond. And you figure out where beyond. And welcome. You're the twins. Welcome, twins.
We're the twins. We're the
On,
twins
on
of
top, we have
twins.
Twin Paula
we're
or
the
Rusty. And
we
on the
have the
bottom,
we
we
have
have Twin
We're the
Maxine or
Tush
Max.
twins.
And to the right,
yes,
you have the Twin Tamer.
that's right. You're the twin tamer.
The Twin
That's
Tamer.
actually funny. I like that. But you really can't tame us, so
No, I know that. That's my ego
that's
talking.
your ego talking. You can't
Right.
tame the twin. No one
You
can tame.
only wish.
No one can tame the twins.
Go ahead, Paul. You can say it. No one can tame the twins. You go.
No one can no one can contain us
That's
because
right.
we're the Tush
Tush
Oh.
twins.
twins.
Tush twins. Yay!
I should show you my wall. I have a whip on the wall. Actually, I do. Not on the wall.
I
It's in my.
actually know how to use a whip.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you?
baby.
I tried it.
Whip it, whip it.
there was a
Look at
promotion one
you.
time. I went
Whip
to a movie
it.
for Indiana
Da,
Jones,
da, 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 da.
and they were giving out whips. And I think
Really?
I've hurt myself more with that whip
Oh, I don't
because
Now
of the
my
know.
father
backlash, and it
had
hits
one.
me.
He taught me how to use it.
Oh,
I think I remember that somehow.
hmm
It's all
Yes.
coming back to me in a weird, weird
That
way.
leather
anyway,
brown,
guys,
dark brown leather whip.
tell us about the shows about Max.
We're the Tush twins, as you just know, and 60 plus years of friendship and camaraderie and drama and fun and hugs and love because we love
Yeah.
each other.
Mm.
And we know each
Love,
other
love,
very, very, very
love,
well.
love.
So we try to think of like what we can talk about because we kind of, if we start delving into what's going on in the world, especially the politics here in the US,
I'll start
uh,
crying.
we will
I'll
literally
be that
we'd be
that
screaming, crying, and
Look what happened in Ecuador the other day.
yeah, I don't want to go there.
Okay,
Anyway, so we're trying to stay away from that, and somehow we started a conversation about cartoons, like cartoons. And we were talking, and I saw something that Pepe Le Pew was being considered uh
I sent you
kind of
that article.
yeah, he was considered to be a bad, cartoon per influence because of his kind of misogynistic ways. And it was and to the point where it was reported that Pepe Le Pew was removed from modern Warner Brother projects until further notice, starting with Space Jam: A New Legacy. And
Yep,
the
they took him
character
out.
and the character has been seen in later projects. I think they put, I don't know where they put him, but the character has been criticized due to his antics being perceived as normalizing stereotypes of French culture. And also, they mentioned like rape culture. Pepe Le Pew, what was his girlfriend's name? He had two girlfriends, right?
Yes, yes, he
Who?
did.
Go.
Penelope Bunny
Okay. And who was the other
and
one?
Lola.
Lola.
Isn't it Lola? Was it
I don't.
Lola?
Lola,
Her name was
Lola,
Lola. She
Lola.
was a showgirl.
I
Oh,
don't, I don't know.
uh,
You had the article. You got to
I
find it out.
know.
But so we were talking
Okay.
about this, and we were going, how insane
It's
is
Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny? Well, I thought it was
Yes, it's
Penelope. So
Lola Bunny and Penelope Pussycat.
Penelope Pussycat. Okay. So that
I,
that was his, I don't know. I mean, Malcolm, what did you get from watching
Pepe Le
the
Pew. Now,
cartoon
I
Pepe
think
Le Pew?
I used to watch if going back. Uncle Fred said, let's see if you remember this. I don't know. I don't think you're that old. Uncle Fred
Uncle Fred
Sales.
Scott.
No, Fred, Fred's Fred Sales, Farmer Great,
Oh,
Oh
no.
no, I do remember him because my brother watched him, but no.
and then Tom and Jerry,
Well,
the
See, I
that
cat
didn't
and
like
mouse.
Tom and Jerry.
we went Tom and Jerry. Now they'd probably be thrown out because they're too violent.
Yeah,
But all
well,
the
But
cartoons are violent.
well, just
Road Runners
right
with violence because he was hitting people over the head and they were
with
hitting him over the
anvils.
head.
It's
But you have to understand, it was Acme Safes.
Right.
and that's okay. If you get
Right.
hit in the head with an Acme safe,
It bounces right off
it
you.
bounces right off you. Why?
You know.
What's an Acme
So,
safe?
that was
Acme?
Acme was part of Roadrunner. It was always an
Oh,
Acme thing, Acme safe, Acme and whatever. And the Roadrunner would always get away, I would say most time. Was there ever a time where he didn't get away?
no, not that I
Nope.
remember.
Okay.
Nope.
So
But I
so
mean, now you look at cartoons and I blush.
yeah, well, I have like tons of things about that, but
Mm.
we were wondering because of Pepe Le Pew being ostracized at this point for being a misogynistic
I think you should ostracize
animated skunk.
because he
We said,
stinks.
right, well, I guess the two Lola and Penelope like him somehow. And he had a French accent. He was, like every
Oh,
little bit, oh,
oh,
combien
Yeah.
va beautiful, and he had that,
oh.
but so we were trying to figure out, we couldn't remember that there was a animated porn with a
Yeah,
cat. And I couldn't remember the name of what it was. So I kept Googling,
yeah, me too.
animated cat porn. And then I kept getting porn sites. I
With
kept getting
cats.
And you're still getting them.
cat, well, my, computer gets rid of
Now,
stuff like that.
I
But
forget. There was a line that one of the comedians said on the Johnny Carson show, and he
yeah.
said, I remember when I forget what guest it was. It was like one of these sexy guests,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
she had a cat on her lap, and she
Oh,
went to
would you like to
Johnny,
strike? Would you like to pet my pussy?
and yeah, and she went to Johnny and said, "Would you like to pet my pussy?" And
Yeah.
he said, "Yes, let's get rid of that cat first."
I remember that.
I
I
remember.
think I
But
heard of that,
but I
that.
forget who they were.
So
Oh,
anyway, so finally I'm looking all the way on the bottom and it said Fritz the cat.
hmm.
Fritz the cat. Like we were in high school when this
Yes, we
came
were.
out. And and it was rated like, I mean, you couldn't get
It
in.
was the triple
And,
X. It
and
was.
all we wanted to do was go see Fritz the cat, but we couldn't get in. It was like they wouldn't let us. You're not 17. It's like, remember that one?
Oh my
Yes.
God! I had my
I'll
mom's
bring,
driver's license.
all right.
You're not 42.
Right, right. Oh my God. I don't even, what movie was
I
that?
look young for my age.
Yeah, well, we tried to get in to see Easy Rider, I think. Was it Easy
Yes, it
Rider?
was Easy
Okay.
Rider. I
We
had
tried
my
to
That
get in
was a
to
great
ID.
see
movie.
we tried to get in to see it, and this one, the redhead here, took her mom's,
Driver's
we took the
license.
driver's license and the money to get
Yeah.
in.
Between both of you, you were in 44.
We looked like 12, I don't,
If that old.
we were 17, but I don't
Teen.
even,
So
or
you were
16.
34.
We're
Yeah.
probably 16 or something like that.
16. You had to be 18 or over
Yeah.
with an adult.
Right. You had to be with an adult. And so we figured, oh, we'll just show
Use
them.
they're not gonna look at the date. And I look like my mother.
Yeah, but not. Oh my God.
I wore a
Anyway,
hat.
yeah, so we go and they're looking at her, they're looking at the picture on the license, they're looking at her, and that's when she said, "You're not 42," whatever. It was like really funny. And we couldn't get in.
We
So we
just
couldn't
took
get
it
in
and
to see
ran.
Fritz the cat. But
Yeah. We did
Fritz the
eventually see it.
Fritz the cat. Yes, I did. It
We
was
did.
it
I
was
was,
it was very raw. It was
yeah.
pornographic. It showed a cat like screwing things. I mean,
But
show the physicality of it.
did you like
And
it?
uh,
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I don't think I really liked it. It was you know,
It was
You
terrible
could.
animation.
I
it
have
was.
never seen a
I
cat have
don't think
sex.
it was.
Neither have I,
Okay,
except that
I'll
time.
read what it says what it was about. A
Hmm.
blazer-clad student called Fritz attends drug-fueled orgies, steals guns from corrupt cops, sets his
Hmm.
college on fire, finds himself in the middle of a race riot, and blows up a power plant.
Yay,
My
Fritz.
God. It was the first X-rated animation decades before the likes of South Park or other crazy things. If you look at Rick and Morty now, your head will spin in a circle. And
But You
Ralph
know, that's
Bakshi was the animator,
hmm
and he was a divisive cult cartoonist, and he was never a stranger to controversy, and it was a runaway success.
yeah,
And
it was.
it was under $1 million to produce, and it was a huge, and then they figured now all the the independent animated films could be for adults now as well. So that really, it was raw and it was explicit, and I don't know. It was crazy. So with that, we have modern day stuff, the likes of,
South Park.
we have South Park, Family Guy,
Yeah, I
again,
love Family Guy.
Rick and Morty, Beavis and Butthead. They just, they just, it was just crazy. I mean, it's a whole thing. You could look up Fritz the Cat and you'll find crazy things about censorship and the
Well, the thing is
animation.
that now that you did it and did it on Google, probably you're going to
Mhm.
get all sorts of Facebook
Cat
things.
porn.
Cat
I
porn.
didn't, yeah, it's cat. Actually, there were things that said watch cat
Cat
porn.
porn.
What? I wouldn't even go into the site because
No,
then
I
I would
saw that
really get stuff.
quickly. I
Right.
pushed
Out.
out.
I know, but
Exit.
it doesn't matter. It'll still pick it up. I didn't look
Yeah.
at my spam. I'm sure I have something in spam
I'm
that says
Well,
wanna
I'm gonna look.
you better tell your husbands you did that because they're gonna, one day
right.
see all
You
this
know,
porn,
I mean, I'm sure
cat porn on
I'll look
on
at,
your.
yeah, it'll say you want to F or something. I mean, they'll do, I mean, the
Hmm.
spam will come up with some crazy stuff like we can find your Catwoman. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Well,
And
all
then
these adult now cartoons,
hmm yeah.
which the kids can see.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they'll understand them, but actually in today's age, they probably know more than I do.
Well, they had like South Park had an episode which I remember watching with my son and his then girlfriend, and you know who that was, right? The
Mm-hmm.
redhead.
Yeah.
And it was called Trapped in the Closet. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll read what it says. It was during the height of Tom Cruise's Scientology promotion.
Yep.
South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone decided to take their own stance on the religion's cosmic origins. And while the animated sitcom has never been the kind of show to shy away from touchy subjects, this episode left Scientologists everywhere utterly speechless.
Good.
It had jabs of Tom Cruise's sexuality and portraying Scientology as a scam. And it was
It is a scam.
Isaac Hayes and Tom Cruise. The thing goes that they were in the closet, and the whole thing was that they had to get out of the closet. And I think John Travolta might have been in that one too somehow because he's
He's still in the
Scientology,
closet.
right? Whatever, I think so. And and I was mortified because I'm watching it, and they're in high school. And I'm like, we got to turn this off. It's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Like, just click it off. And I'm like, I can't click it off. I mean, I don't know what to say. And these things keep coming up over and over and over. And there were things in Merry Melodies that, and in stuff
Oh,
that,
okay. Of course there were.
they had, I mean, SpongeBob, right? SpongeBob is just, funny, goofy thing. They had an episode called "You're Fired." SpongeBob, you're fired. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Krabs' boss said he can save a nickel more by discharging his prize fry cook, and SpongeBob was forced out of his position and left unemployed. In an attempt to cheer him up, Patrick introduces his best friend to the joys of not having a job, describing the event as fun employment. The two then slack off the rest of the day, ignoring all responsibilities and duties. And then through SpongeBob eventually realizes the unemployment is not good. And it started in actual, but especially at fast food joints, like they referred to fast food joints, and they said that it sparked a political debate and pulled into question the real message it was sending was to the youths and the underprivileged because they're, you know, working at McDonald's or something. And so the whole episode caused an uproar about that. Could you?
Which
It's a
is
cartoon. I mean,
I don't understand it.
it gets to the, and then there's Family Guy, there's Ren and Stimpy. Uh, the thing,
Rain,
the thing,
Stampede,
Ren and Stimpy were hysterical. How come they don't have Pinky and the Brain in here? He wants to take over the world.
the world.
Pinky in the brain.
Pinky
Pinky,
and the
Pinky and
Pinky
the
and the
brain,
Brain.
brain, 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 brain,
One
brain.
is a genius, the other's
The other's
insane.
insane.
It's hysterical. I have a Pinky and the Brain poster in my middle room still.
I've never
And
heard of that.
Pinky
oh,
and the Brain? Did you
No,
ever
oh,
watch the Animaniacs?
no.
It's
I was
time
never
for
into animation.
Animaniacs.
did your kids watch it?
Animaniacs is by
I think that
Steven Spielberg. He made
right,
the best animation, but they
right.
were kind of out there too.
Yeah, the subject matter would seem to me go over younger kids.
It's
I
not,
think
but
that
so do Looney Tunes and Merry
the
Melodies. They were not made for children. They were made for the movies. They
right.
didn't have to the Tiny Toons later on for little ones. But I could never understand when my dad was laughing every day at the cartoons. I loved them. They were funny, but they were
Well,
over my head, a lot of them, till I got to be an adult. They were made for adults, not for
Until you got to
children.
be 13, 14, then you understood.
Yeah.
well, I mean, my son used to watch Arthur. I
Hmm.
was a little, I think he was a little older for it, but Arthur is, very teaches subject matters of good things, how to be good, how to behave, how to have empathy. Arthur is, did your kids watch Arthur, Malcolm?
No, the only author I saw was
What did they
the Dudley
watch?
Moore.
No,
Ah,
Arthur, this is Arthur the
the
Aardvark.
animation.
It's an animation
They
on.
went to Sesame Street.
Well, but this was probably following, Sesame Street. But they did
Then
an
then they
episode.
didn't watch TV. They were out playing sports, as far as I know.
I know, but this was when they're young, young, young. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, they did an episode that they called Bleep. And the Aardvark Arthur protagonist introduces the audience to the concept of cursing and censorship. And things got a little too dicey for some of the people, but the episode was designed to discourage kids from using hurtful words.
Hmm.
But the bleeping method employed by Arthur, the showrunners actually made the episode feel raunchy instead of educational. So they started to get negative feedback on Arthur of all things.
The
It's
people are
just
so weird. Look at Mighty Mouse.
Mighty
Here I
Mouse
come to
to
save
save
the
the
day.
day. Right.
The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse. They took off one of their animations from their air on CBS because he pulled something out of his
CBS. We were talking about
pocket.
them last week.
Yeah. God,
What?
is there a thread?
There must be. I
Well, the
mean,
question is, was Mickey and Minnie were never married, were they?
No, but they
uh, uh,
walked around
yeah.
like they,
I,
they lived together.
when I was in Disney World, one of the last few times, I haven't been there in like 6 years or something. I think I was there.
Hmm.
I literally went up to Mickey and Minnie and I said, "When are you two getting married? You're not hitched. This is a bad thing." And people around me were looking like, "Have you lost your mind, woman?" And they just went, like that. And I'm like, think about it. You're bringing your place. Mickey and Minnie are living in sin. I mean, what's that
Oh, did
about?
you hear? Minnie Mouse now has her own wheat place.
Minnie
She's a
Their
Mouse.
own
baker
what?
of cookies. She's an edible chef too now.
No.
She's an edible chef.
Um,
That's the
That
next
wouldn't.
thing I'm going to hear.
One of the funniest cartoons I've seen, and this one scene, is Daffy Duck.
Yeah.
Oh, suffering
And
with the cash.
Daffy Duck was married, and I forget his wife's name. But when he
Daisy.
Daisy Duck,
Mhm.
and when she wanted something, he would go, "Yes, my love. Yes, my
Yes,
love."
my love. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that.
And a friend of mine, he heard that, and he would fall on the floor laughing. Yes, my love. Yes,
You
my
just
love.
said
He wouldn't pay attention to
say
her.
that to
He'd go,
your
"Yes,
wife.
my love."
You say
Yes,
yes, my
my
love
love.
to your wife, you'll be fine.
See,
It's like
No, no,
yes, dear.
no, it's yes. You got to
But
lift.
Lith, yes, my love.
Yes, my love.
yes, my
Lith, yes.
love.
Well, I mean, talk about sex in an animation. Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit. I mean, she was full on stacked. I mean, guys were getting, boners looking at a cartoon
How
rabbit.
come? And that was, I don't get that. Then
It was a
why didn't they take
feature
that off?
feature length. That
Yeah.
wasn't, I don't know if that what the rating of Roger Rabbit was, but I'm like, okay. So they're going after all these others. Like there's a so it was an animation called the Cow and Chicken.
Oh,
The cow
yes, I
and
And
remember
chicken.
that
and
one.
the Cow and Chicken uh this was an episode 7 from season 2 on the Cartoon Network. Uh and apparently they said that there was sexually suggestive content featured on Buffalo Gals, along with the heavily implied stereotyping of lesbians, led the network to ban the segment and have the episode air with a replacement segment. Sound familiar? It almost sounds like the
Hmm.
Smothers Brothers being thrown off because they mentioned something and then they replaced it. And this was,
Well,
I
well,
don't
I,
know, I don't
well,
know.
I don't know whether I'm too sensitive or not, but when I see some of these films, or even of the they do like the little girls, and the little girls are dressed like cheerleaders, provocatively, and
Hmm.
and and they have the moves and the dancing that are very suggestive, and I go, oh my God,
Yeah,
But
well,
that's
and
not,
that's
is that not
constantly seen.
X-rated?
no, those
No,
aren't X-ray. They have, you mean like some of the
any of the things
With
done
the,
now,
silly,
any of the
with ones
shows
that
done
they were
now where they have
cheerleaders.
like 6, 7-year-old girls,
Dancing
dressed
on
in,
Dancing with the Star,
yeah,
whatchamacallit, America's
Mhm.
Got Talent. They have these girls dancing with the makeup, and they're
yeah,
12 years old, 10
Well,
years old.
that's like the beauty pageants for 4 and 5 and 6 years old. When I was in um Scottsville in Virginia celebrating the 4th of July, they had this parade. And in the parade were these kids with the makeup and the blonde hair and the thing, and they're
yeah.
waving like this, you
Who
know.
who who is who's the girl that was killed? They never found out who did it.
Renee, uh,
Vinay, something, yeah. That was in for a
that's
long time.
horrible. They still
Yeah,
don't know who killed
they
her.
This
thought it might be her father, but I don't
It's
think anyone
not.
has ever convicted.
No,
No, they found that it wasn't her parents.
it's literally
But
still
that's
a
when they
cold.
brought it up, the sensuality of these, kids
Hmm.
who are made to seem like they're, 20 years old, or, late
Well,
teens.
now they are, there's been articles lately about, girls, getting,
Jean
um,
Monnet, whatever.
girls having their periods earlier and developing
Hmm.
breasts earlier, and they're trying to figure out what's causing this. Like 9 and 10 year olds.
9 and 10?
For us, we were,
Hormone.
yeah, the hormones, something's going on, something's wacky. There's been articles and a lot of papers about it, and that's nuts. That's purely nuts. I mean, when
Yeah,
we were growing up, it was like uh 12. I mean, even at the 13 and 14, we were more naive. I mean, today with social media and kids
we
on
were
the
so
phone,
naive back then.
right? We were so naive about so much.
I know.
We were like just
We
okay.
knew we
We
knew
we
nothing.
we'd
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think 7, 8-year-olds probably
No
know
more
more
than I
now
did
than
at
you knew
20
when
years
you were,
old.
yeah.
and even
I
now
think
probably.
Well,
well, I mean,
I think I got it now.
I think I think, the one thing, the scenario of giving your kids phones and at what age to do it now. And because there's so much on there they can just see and get in trouble with you. The parental guidance, I don't know how much parental guidance really is working with this stuff.
First of all,
But,
a kid should not have a phone
you know,
except
they,
to make emergency phone calls till they're 12 years old.
that
Kids
they
should not be playing games
usually,
on the phone. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
they're basically kind of when
You
you
should,
hit like junior high, I think that's when you're
yeah.
more likely
Then you,
getting a phone.
Yeah,
And
that's when I bought my sons a phone, when they after they left elementary school.
I think,
Elementary school, I went to pick them up every day, and I
right,
yes.
took them in every day.
right.
Once they went to middle school and well, not high school, they were old already. But once they went to middle school, I didn't have that hands-on control anymore, or
Right.
wasn't that
No.
close by.
Yeah, and today, you really are nervous about anything and everything with the kids. And so you to get some peace of mind, you're giving your kids the phone earlier because God forbid active
Right.
shooter
Um,
drills. They have active shooter drills. You're
we
sending
had
your kid
duck
to
and cover.
school. Yeah, but that I mean that was, yeah, scary about an atom bomb, blah de blah.
Right.
But this is someone coming in to your school with an automatic rifle and shooting everyone.
And that thing happens. It's not that it didn't happen. I know.
Right.
It
It's,
happens. It's happening
it's,
every other day.
yeah, as
Yeah,
far as I
every other day in
remember,
the news.
I don't think we were attacked by an atom bomb when I went to school.
Nope.
Not,
We
no, and
weren't.
I don't remember. I'm still here.
You
The
know,
duck
we
and
we
cover. It's like,
although now proliferation gets scarier by the moment, and the clock is tick tick ticky ticky tick. But we getting back to cartoons, and I mean, it would be when we were growing up, we loved them. It was fun to
they
watch
were
Saturday
watch
morning
them. They were
cartoons,
violent. They were
They were violent.
funny.
Yeah.
but they were also funny,
Yeah.
like Dodo, the kid from outer space, and silly,
Dodo,
oh,
keep
the kid
them
from outer
in.
space. I mean,
I
they
have to admit that I wasn't that much into animation or cartoons. But my favorite animation is, and I think it's the all-time favorite, Fantasia, the Walt
Oh,
Disney.
well,
well,
And to
that's a
see
I
movie.
love
and you
that.
have to see that on the big screen.
I
Yeah,
did.
Yeah,
so
because
did
It
I.
came
the
back in
colors are
the
so beautiful, the
70s.
classical music.
Yeah,
I love that. I have to,
that
I
was
love the whatchamacall, the ballet with the hippopotamuses.
it was a masterpiece.
It
It's,
Of
was.
course, but we also had the Flintstones and the Jetsons,
yeah,
We had Top Cat.
and what was the other one where there was a dog and what was right? I don't know. I
Uh,
forgot
the
I for,
Jetsons,
no, the guy with had. Uh, I'm
the guy
losing my
with the
mind.
head.
But he, yeah.
the
We'll come.
Sherman is, and his boy, what's his name? And his boy Sherman.
There was a dog. There was also a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, there was uh Rocky J. Squirrel.
That was the best I have to say for to animation in those days. The Bullwinkle show was one of the best animated
Dudley
shows.
Do Right.
Right.
Uh,
But the fractured fairy tales
right,
and
right,
everything, it was one of the great. My father every week would sit down and like glued. My father was like a boy, 10 years old.
right.
He, was,
So
he would come
yeah,
home to watch the Three Stooges every day.
I have friends who still watch the Three Stooges. Don't
Mm.
even ask me. Don't even. I just don't know where to go on that one anymore. They're sitting
Yeah,
there watching it hysterically laughing, and I'm like,
it's funny.
are you for real?" And I'm like, but then you look at it and it's still
It's
funny,
funny.
even
I'm
though
sorry.
I have to admit, I wasn't a Three Stooges fan. I'm a Marx Brothers fan.
I'm a
well, I
Marx
like the
Brothers
Marx
fanatic.
I
Brothers,
love the Marx
Yes.
Brothers
right?
because
Uh,
they were so, but some of the lines were so subtle.
And I was a Burns and Allen fan.
well, take a letter to Hunga
The
Dunga in the
Hunga Dunga.
chorus.
You forgot a
Take a
Hunga
le
Dunga.
You forgot a Hunga Dunga. Uh, it was
Are you know who's talking about old shows, which I see, who's a fantastic, talented thing. I'm trying to remember his name now. I forgot it. Danny Kaye.
Oh, he was
Danny.
wonderful.
Danny
He
Kaye
was
could do
really wonderful.
everything.
Yes, he
Did
could. His movies were phenomenal.
Yeah, an actor, a singer, a dancer, a comedian.
And he was the first one to host The Wizard of Oz when it first came on.
Oh, was he? I
really?
didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, a lot of cartoons were pretty much, in vogue, especially Saturday morning cartoons. I mean, you would go to your TV set with your cereal. You'd show
Yeah. Sit in
you'd show
front.
my Phil used to show when he was a kid. He would show when TV first started and they had the commercials. He would show the cereal box to the TV. My mom said, and he would say, "I have this. I have this." And then when all the cereals come out, I'm like, "I have Lucky Charms." I would show it too, and it's like, "What are you doing? What is this?"
I love
And
Crusader Rabbit, but all those shows
Crusader
back
Rabbit,
then,
yes.
yes, and
But
his
they never
entire
are
and
they played
Huckleberry
anymore?
Hound.
Crusader
What was
Huckleberry
that?
Rabbit.
Hound. Are they being aired
Um,
anymore? I've never seen them.
No, I wish they would. They were
okay.
wonderful.
The one I was thinking of, which I had to Google, sorry, but I just was driving me nuts. Johnny Quest.
I love Johnny
You remember
Quest.
Johnny Quest and the
Yes, I
kid
did.
and then the uncle and the father and they had the little white dog?
Haji.
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 There you
Hmm.
go. That
Imagine.
was on Saturday mornings. And if
That was sad.
anyone bothered me when I was watching Johnny Quest, there'd be I'd be screaming. It's like, don't bother me. I'm watching Johnny Quest.
But it was
I'm
more
eating
for
my Rice Krispies.
adults.
I
It
loved
was
it.
a,
Now,
I
this
loved it too.
Saturday morning, I used to watch Mr. I Imagination.
Right?
Paul Tripp. I don't know if you remember that one. He had like kids
No.
coming there, and he had like a little train, and he would go back into the history of something famous in history, and he'd go
Oh,
back and it was
cool.
like teaching. And then they
Well,
had Andy Devine.
I got a gang, you
yeah.
got a
Yeah.
gang. Everybody
Everybody,
ought to have a
But,
gang.
but, but by Buster
but a
Brown.
good
That's
gang,
my
not a
dog
bad
Tide. He
gang.
lives in the shoe. I'm Buster Brown. Look for me
Yeah.
in there too.
Right. Well,
Does your
I
shoe have a
know
dog that's
And I
not
fell in love with
funny? A place for a dog to
Sabu.
hide. Does your shoe have a dog that's a boy and a dog and a
sure.
foot in the
Foot in the
shoe?
shoe. The boy is Buster Brown and the dog
And
is
the
Tide
dog
his
is
friend.
tied his
And it's really just a
friend
picture,
picture. But it's
but
fun
it's
to
fun to
play
play
pretend.
pretend. So
So
look
look,
in your
look, look.
telephone
Your
book for
telephone
the
book
store.
for the boy
And
who
see it
sells a
doesn't work.
shoe. Store that
You
sells a
go
shoe.
with the picture of the boy and the dog inside so you can put your
And
foot
then
into.
remember,
Buster Brown
you
shoes.
Right.
remember Ed Hurley and the Children's Hour?
No,
Nope.
Ed
I like
Hurley had like a variety show with
Tom
kids
Terrific.
doing all
I
the
like,
acts.
well, we had, Sonny Fox. We had,
Yes.
Well, so
those,
Sonny, I
Sammy
worked.
Becker.
So
right.
these shows I worked for.
Yeah, I
Wonderama.
remember.
We were on
Yeah.
Wonderama.
Wonderama.
No, we were on Just for Fun.
We were on Just for Fun. We weren't on
Well,
Yeah,
Wonderama. I
that
I
thought I
used to
was
no.
work at
also doing
WNEW
Wonderama.
TV.
Yeah,
Uh,
WNEW
Yeah,
was
yeah.
was that. Yeah.
Channel
I
5.
used to buy the props for all of them, like
Really?
Sandy's magic tricks.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Gee, I
used to
wonder if
go.
we ever saw you when we were there. It's like,
You probably did.
who knows? And we didn't know it was you. And who knew?
One short story about that. I'm working in LA, and I'm at this restaurant, at Gladstone's, with my girlfriend then. And the national sales manager of the station comes in, and we had talked, and I knew his girlfriend, was from Coney, actually from Seagate.
Okay.
So, he introduces us, and I didn't recognize her. Then she comes over and says, "Are you Malcolm that worked at Tommy the Tailor's?" I said,
What?
"Yeah."
Hmm.
She said, "You know, when I was going out with my husband, I'm forgetting his name now. When I was going out with him, I went over to you and I got tickets for I think it was the David Susskind show. And
I
you
Mm.
met
remember
him,
him.
and this was like in the late 60s.
Oh
Anyway,
my
guys,
God.
believe it or not, our time has ended.
Oh, I
Really?
want to talk about the Family Guy. Seth
Next
MacFarlane
week,
is a crazy genius.
but next week
He's a
we could go
crazy
into
genius.
this should end. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Actually,
Well,
that's on his tombstone, Mel Blanc.
I know.
really.
God
That's all,
bless him.
folks. I will see you guys next week.
Well,
Stay
my mom
with
has one too. Tata, shalom, shalom is on her
so,
tombstone.
And my
It
mother
is.
says,
She
bingo.
and right, her mother has bingo. Mine says Tata, shalom, shalom, and
and my
Q
thing is
QOFE.
sorry we ran out of time.
All
Speak
right.
to you next
So
week.
Shalom.
if you have any
Bye.
cartoons you like, let us know. Ciao.
Maine.